I got this one last, another one. Okay, the same one. Do you work with the federal government? Not currently. I did it. Most of my work was with the federal government. So right now I work for the private sector, a Fortune 1000 company. So this, or is it 500? I don't know. I work for a large company that's privately owned. But the federal government is really where I got my start. And most of my experiences with the federal government. I started off in the actual military where I did physical security for like 5 years. And then I went into computers. Like I was a comm operator is what they call it. I don't know what they call it these days in the Air Force, but I did that for like 3 or 4 years. And in that field at the time, they had us doing all kinds of stuff. Like you didn't just do one thing, you did several things, and you might have several different jobs in the span of your career. I did firewalls in the federal government back when actual military people used to do them. Now it's all contractors. When I left, it was all contractors. I did set up networks from scratch. I maintained networks. That was after I got my CCNA. Back then, CCNA was way easier. I don't know. It's like super. It's all broken into parts and stuff now. Man, what else did I do? I did so many things. I did help desk. I never really did servers in the military. But one of the biggest jobs I had that really put me on this course where I'm doing mostly compliance stuff, it was called DITSCAP. And DITSCAP was kind of evolved into DIACAP, and then it evolved into Risk Management Framework for DoD. And that's based almost completely on NIST 800 series. And now it got out of the military and been doing contracting work for the federal government still for a number of years, all different branches of the military, all different letter agencies, all kinds of stuff. I did that for many years. So I'm very familiar with how the federal government does things and what they want to see as a whole. Like, when you get into specifics, like what does the Army do? What does the Navy do? What does, this organization do? It gets kind of nuanced, and there's like little changes to like terminology and like little things that they do slightly different. But for the most part, if you know risk management framework, you're going to know how to get through any of these processes. So yeah, to answer your question, I do not currently work for the federal government, but my previous job, like 2 years ago, was for the federal government. So, I mean, just recently got out of the federal government. So now I'm working private sector. All right, let me see. What other questions do we have? And actually, the private sector is not that much different. I mean, they do things very similar. I would say they do things a little smarter outside the military. Smarter is not the right word. More efficiently, because they have to be, because the money is not falling off trees there, so they have to really watch what they do in the private sector rather than just kind of shoveling money into a furnace like the military does, like the federal government does. Okay.